Okay, you guys, as promised, I'm here to do Goodbye Xbox 360, my story. Now, let's just jump right into this. The Xbox 360 was no accident. I was actually going to get the Xbox 360. I couldn't wait to get my fucking hands on that shit, okay? Now, I remember that day real good. I went to Toys R Us to get that shit, okay? And the only version that I could afford that day, because I had just started working at FedEx that September, so this was November by the time I got the Xbox 360. I got the Xbox Arcade Edition. You know, the one in the green box that had that little memory card. It didn't have the hard drive on top at the time. So I got that, and I got Bioshock. When Bioshock was an Xbox 360 exclusive, it was it had yet to come on PS3, and wouldn't for another 2 years. So, yeah, I bought Bioshock twice, of course, for both systems. That was the best night ever. I got it on the way to work, so I couldn't play it until I got home. So I went home and dropped the system off and went to FedEx. Came home. Oh yeah, it was on and cracking. This was 2007, by the way, so the Xbox 360 was out for only 2 years at that time. I forgot it came out in 2005. So, oh my god, it was so awesome. Okay, now of course I didn't have internet or nothing like that, not yet anyway. I wouldn't have internet for quite some time, but it was fine. I was just playing the games and stuff like that. Then I found out that there were multiple versions. I found out that there was a one with a hard drive on it that had 20 gigabytes. You know, when it was only 20, and I believe 40 gigabytes on both of the systems at the time. So a few months later, which was by about 2008, maybe in January, it was right around after New Year's, I got the 20 gigabyte hard drive, and I attached it to the top of my system and transferred everything from the little memory card into that hard drive. Way better because the hard drive was pre-installed with a couple of games that I liked, including Pac-Man Championship Edition. That game never got deleted. I have Pac-Man Championship Edition. That was the most addicting game ever. Addicting game ever, man. Oh my god, it was so great. And of course, I had to get that November. Halo 3 had just released. So of course, I remember seeing the event in New York City in Times Square where they had the little warhogs and the guys dressed up in the suits, and then they would go inside the little Best Buy and they had Master Chief coming in with the big box full of all the games. They were like escorting them in there. That was so fucking awesome. That was fucking awesome. And of course, I had to get the game. So I got that game, I got Halo 3, and I got Assassin's Creed, because of course they all came out at the same time. This was November, so the were just starting to hit. And while I'm on the bus heading back to the house, I'm all looking at the game, and on top of the game is the sticker: "Do not open until November this date." I forgot what date the game came out, but it was still on the sticker, and I started laughing. Two of my greatest purchases ever. Okay, fucking ever. And mind you, I still didn't have online yet. It was coming, but it wasn't coming yet. And yeah, I never put down Assassin's Creed. Once I found out you had to eventually jump like leap of faith off a bunch of different ones, I marathon that shit. I had to find every little detail. Okay, it was on and cracking. The only thing I didn't like was you had to travel everywhere by your fucking horse and shit like that until you get to like the fast travel section. Other than that, you have to ride around and ride around. Oh my god, it took forever. But you know what? The game was awesome. I didn't really give a fuck. As for Halo 3, oh, we had some times on that motherfucker. Mainly from the campaign, because after a couple of missions, the shit started to get harder. Okay? Especially when you're inside this, I want to say, it looks like a cave, but I think it was inside of some type of a monster or whatever, and it was like moving. It looked like the bowels of a monster. If you know the stage, you know what I'm talking about. And shit just kept coming from every fucking direction. I'm like, oh my god, am I gonna get out of here? And I finally got out of that motherfucker. Oh my god, I died like 6, 7 times. It was not fun. I hated that mission. And every time I went back and replayed that mission, I was like, oh god. But by then, I was used to playing Halo 3, so I was a lot better at it than the first time I went through that shit. But oh my god. I wanted to throw my controller at the fucking screen. And that was the time where I first learned about wireless controllers and shit like that. Even though Atari actually had a wireless controller way back in the 80s. But that ain't the point. The point is, putting batteries inside of an Xbox 360, I thought was a cool idea. That is, until I found out once you run out, you gotta put more batteries in. You gotta put more batteries in. Then when I went to Target one time, I found out that there was an attachment, a charging attachment. I got that shit. And I put it on my controller. It was good times. Even though it, yeah, it matched. It matched. Well, so like, why didn't it match before? I was playing. But yeah, good times. And then I finally was able to get online, and the rest was history. I was hooked. I couldn't get off that shit. Then I got Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4. Oh, best campaign ever. Best times on multiplayer ever. Even though the scoring system was stupid back then, you only got 5 points per kill. Now you get 100 per kill, which is I think is a lot better because that 5 points per kill shit was bull crap. But it was just one afternoon. One afternoon, I had a good week, and it showed because that whole afternoon I led Call of Duty 4's leaderboard, and I wasn't even trying. I wasn't. I got pissed off because at the time I had the headset that came with the arcade version. That stupid little shit that comes down like this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And there was this whiny little brat on here. Had to be 8, 9 years old, probably. Like, oh, I'm gonna annihilate you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Talking all kinds of trash. I'm like, you don't know who the fuck you talking to right now. Cause at the time, I was no stranger to Call of Duty. I had just played Finest Hour, Call of Duty 2 on Xbox 360. My uncle had bought that. I completed his Call of Duty 2. He didn't even get past the game yet. I did it. So, Call of Duty 3. So I'm like, I ain't no stranger to this shit, okay? I whooped that ass. I'm like, I think your mommy's calling you. She might want to give you a lesson about trying to talk trash when you can't back that shit up. Because, I was just sitting there. We're all adults except for this one little fucker. And I was like, hey boys, let's say we take out the trash. They knew exactly what the fuck I was talking about. And just so happens, thank you, that little bitch went to the other team. I'm like, we gotta get this motherfucker out of here. Agreed. We whooped that ass. We whooped that ass so badly, he rage quit. It was awesome. And not to fucking mention, before he rage quit, I got the winning kill on his dumb ass. And the whole time I got that winning kill, I was like, oh, yes. And then when they actually showed the little replay about me, and then they slowed it down and go, doom, 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 right in this dome, I was like, never talk trash when you can't back it up, you little shit. You're like, well, fuck you. Like, get the fuck out of here. And we all booted his ass, and then he rage quit. That was good times. Unfortunately, after that shit, that's when campers began. That was the rise of camping, and oh my god, that was annoying. So thank you, Call of Duty 4. You brought on the rage, the trash talkers, and the campers. But moving on to Mass Effect. Fuck yes. Mass Effect. I got stuck on one mission for about 2 or 3 weeks. So much that I actually rage quit that game for about 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, you know what? I gotta complete this motherfucker. Because by then, I knew there had to be a 2. I knew 2 had to be coming at some point. Because this game was too fucking cinematic to just be one game. So like, I knew there was another one's coming. I knew it. So I went back in that afternoon. I took my time. I had to take my time. Otherwise, I was gonna be dead. I forgot the name of that mission. But if I ever see it on YouTube, I'll remember the mission's name. I'll come back in a different video and explain that fucking mission's name. It was a pain in the dick. You guys have no fucking idea unless you played Mass Effect. And finally, fucking finally, after 15 goddamn deaths, I overcame the obstacles and beat that fucking mission. I was like, oh my god. Ugh, my Xbox was so hot at the time, you didn't know. And yes, just fucking yes. Okay, BioShock was completed. Assassin's Creed was done. Call of Duty was done like the same day I fucking bought it, and I got Call of Duty for $40. It was a Black Friday sale, so yeah. And then what happened? I got stung by a bee. What does that mean? Red ring of fucking death. So I sent it into Microsoft and got a new one. Okay? That didn't last too long either. Maybe about 3 months right after the release of what was that? It was a RPG. I know it's Too Human. There we go. Too fucking Human. A game I actually liked on 360. It was hard as shit, but I liked that game. Took me forever to beat this one big giant ass boss like fucking city size, and I'm just one little human just running around trying to get this motherfucker. It was hard as shit, but I did it. Okay? Try doing all that shit before you go to work. Okay? Try beating that big motherfucker about 5 or 10 minutes before you have to head out the fucking door. And knowing you can't, and the last save was about a good miles back. So not only will you have to come back and run all the way back up to that fucking thing, you have to start all over beating that motherfucker. And that's exactly what the fuck I did. I died like 5 times. I beat that motherfucker. And it's a good thing it saved my game. Because no more after I beat that motherfucker. Red Ring of Death. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? So I sent it in. I got the third one. I didn't even wait. Yeah, I know it was the same console. I didn't even wait for that shit to even give me a third Red Ring of Death either. What I did after that, I took that arcade edition. I took the hard drive off, of course. Took that off. And at that time, the Elite had just came out. The original Elite, not the Slim Elite. And I got that motherfucker. That was good times. That was the first time it actually had a 120 gigabyte hard drive on it. And transferring my content. Oh, I remember that shit. I had to get the other attachment. Okay. Oh, right before I had wireless, I had to buy that $100 attachment to put on the back of my 360 for the internet to connect, so I could have wireless connectivity. It didn't have that built-in wireless thing yet. So yes, I had everything. I even had the little Xbox 360 remote control, because I had the Xbox 360 HD DVD player. Yep. I had it all, people. I had both HD DVD and Blu-ray. I've been there. There's nothing I will ever try. I'll try every fucking thing. I got that from Best Buy for like $150, along with Bones, and it wasn't too shabby. Okay. Here's the funny part. I didn't have an HDTV just yet. I got the TV maybe about 2 months after that. And after that, I had Transformers on DVD. Then I got it on HD DVD. That looked so awesome. Now I got the Blu-ray. That looks even fucking better. I can see why Blu-ray won that war. I can really see that reason. And I am living proof of that because I went and fucking got the Blu-ray as well. So, yeah. There ain't shit I won't do. But, yeah. So I had to get that other attachment. Attach my 20 gigabyte hard drive. Put it on top of that little switch thing on top of the hard drive. And then plug that shit into the USB of the Xbox 360 Elite. That took about an hour. Okay? An fucking hour. But everything was on that the 120 gigabyte hard drive. Took that hard drive, traded it into GameStop. Oh, pre-ordered the limited edition. So fucking gorgeous. Limited edition of Gears of War 2. Not that big guitar chainsaw thing, but that nice big little box set. I picked it up on the way to work as well. All this shit I got on the way to work. So that means I couldn't play it until I got home. That sucked. But I got that shit in my grasp. I was like, you know what? It was a strategy guide, but I didn't really use it for strategy. I was collecting strategy guides at the time. So I just bought it. Like, put this on here too. Like, yeah, you're going to need that. I'm like, no, not really. I'll do this shit on my own. Okay? And sure enough, I did the shit on my own. Okay? I didn't really use my strategy guide. The only time I had to use my strategy guide one time was I had to find one collectible. Just one. I found all the other shit on my own because I was not afraid to fucking search. I wasn't afraid to look anywhere. It was Gears of War. I just played and beat Gears of War 1. Okay? When I got the 360. So, I knew all about the collectible shit. Okay? So, I knew that there was some shit coming around somewhere. So, I couldn't find that shit and I got the book. By then I just beat the game. So I went back to that chapter. Found it. Motherfucker. Got the achievement and moved on. But yeah. I love that little booklet it had. It was like in a little, not a steel book, but it was like a little metal case, like a metal pack, if you will. It was awesome. You have to know what I'm talking about. Because back then I wasn't afraid to get limited editions. I got several limited editions, man. I got fucking the Gears of War limited edition. I wanted to get the Halo 3 limited edition, but I know Target didn't have it to where I got Halo 3. And after I wanted to start collecting it, it was way too stupidly overpriced. And yes, the Xbox 360 Elite served me well. Very well. Until it ring a death 3 times. That was 6. Mind you, I went through 9 Red Ring of Deaths. 9. Oh yes. By this time, it was going on 2010. I had just gotten Mass Effect 2 for the 360. It was 2 fucking discs. Goddamn. And then the PS3 came out that year in 2010. So I got the PS3 version as well. And the PS3 version, I gotta say, was awesome. Why? Because they added the additional content for Mass Effect 1. So if you didn't play Mass Effect 1, they did this little story, like, book catch-up. You have to pick and choose all the decisions that you picked in Mass Effect 1, which was awesome. And you get to watch it play out in, like, story mode for, like, 10-15 minutes. It was a good little sit, and then you finally got to the game. So that was pretty cool of the BioWare to do. That was pretty cool. So that's why Mass Effect 2 is my favorite game of the series, because they spared no expense. Even for the PS3 players who didn't even get the chance to play the first one, got the chance to play it for like 5 or 10 minutes. That was cool. I appreciate that. Anyway, 2 fucking discs long, and yes, I got to the point where it says you have to put in disc 2, and luckily, I was watching YouTube at the time. I wasn't doing YouTube videos. Yes, I was doing YouTube videos. It was 2010, my fault. So I was doing YouTube videos at the time now. So of course I looked up, like, how the fuck would I put the other disc in without turning off the system? Because usually when I checked a game out of the 360, it would go back to the home screen. And it said you basically have to eject the disc. But the screen didn't move. Once you got to that part where it said, hey, please insert the other disc, I did it. And it stayed there. It didn't move. And I put the other disc in, pushed it in, went it in, and it loaded. It's awesome. Good. It didn't go out to the main screen till at the dashboard. I love that. It was awesome. And then they announced that dashboard update. I was like, thank God, because that dashboard was like a fucking book. It was like, it wasn't like how it is now. It was like a fucking, like a like a file cabinet. You have like your little files and you pick one. Yeah, it's like that shit. You know what I'm talking about. All the gamers know what the fuck I'm talking about when I'm talking classic 360 here. I'm not talking about all the updated stuff. I'm talking about before all the updated shit. So then they announced the Xbox Experience. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? I thought it was like a whole new like game. I thought it was like Xbox version of PlayStation Home at the time. But no, it was a dashboard update. It took me a good minute to get used to it. I'm like, this just looks kind of all over the place. But then once I got used to it, I was like, okay, I dig it. It's pretty cool. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And one last time, one last ditch effort, that fucking that fucking Elite Red Ring 3 more times. I was up to 8. 8. So I finally traded that in after I got the replacement. Because at the time, the Xbox 360 Slim, not only did it get announced at E3, it was going to be released the following fucking day. So, being the technology wizard that I am, I had to go fucking get that shit. So, it was about maybe 2 weeks after its release. That unboxing of my Xbox 360S is in the 2011 area somewhere. Just search for it, it's there. I got it. And I got it. Not only did I get that, I got Splinter Cell Conviction, the limited edition Splinter Cell Conviction. I think that was my 4th limited edition. And I forgot what else. You have to watch the video to find that out. Xbox 360 gave me so many great memories. Why? Because it was also the very first time I bought Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero Aerosmith, Guitar Hero World Tour. I had them all. Rock Band 1, Rock Band 2, before I eventually switched Rock Band 1 and 2 to PS3. Unfortunately, Guitar Hero would not follow because, yeah, after World Tour, that was it for my Guitar Hero days. I was officially hooked on Rock Band because it sounded better, and if you wasn't playing with the other instruments, you can actually hear the difference, which is what Guitar Hero could not do until World Tour. Yeah. And then all this other Guitar Hero shit came out, like Smash Hits, Rocks the 80s, fucking Van Halen, Metallica. I'm like, oh my god, come on. While Rock Band just had its 1 and 2. Rock Band 3 was about another, 2 years away at the time? A year or two away? And all they did was release downloadable content, one after the other. That's how it should have been done for Guitar Hero, but nope. And that led to Guitar Hero's demise, unfortunately. But the best part is, I hated Rock Band's guitar controller. It was, I didn't like it. Luckily, I was able to use Guitar Hero's controller for Rock Band, so that was a savior for me. So yeah, great times on the Xbox 360, and I finally got me some Turtle Beaches. Oh, I love those headsets. I fucking love those headsets. Actually, then I finally, for the last ditch effort for both systems, I got the Tritons. Oh, I think I unboxed the Tritons as well. I did, but it was deleted. All the good shit was deleted. Oh, so pissed off. Oh my god. I love those headphones too. So, I got the Xbox 360 Slim. And I'm thinking, yes, they're finally, because I ain't hear nobody complain about a red ring. They got rid of the red ring of death. So I thought. Okay, this was the last ditch effort too. This was the last time I would ever have a 360. Instead of red ring of death, I got the red dot of death. No rings, just the middle part. The dot. Send that motherfucker back into Microsoft. They sent me the fucking replacement. By this time, it was 2012. That was the final year for 360. and PS3 for me. But you know what? I went out with a bang. I played all my old games again. What happened? What came out in 2012 that I rented from GameFly. I wasn't able to buy PS3 and Xbox 360 games anymore because I had just got unemployed that November of 2011. So yeah, with my remaining few months left on GameFly, I just ran those games out and played them and passed them, and that was it. And yes, had to sell both systems for money, unfortunately. And yes, that red dot does count as my ninth red ring of death. Because it still fucking shut down the fucking system. And yes, it still counts even though it's just a dot. But, great times for the Xbox 360. Great times with PS3. I love both of those systems. Despite Xbox's hardware failure, despite PS3's shitty dashboard at the time before they got in a little bit of an update, which I seen, so that was cool. So, yes. On to the next generation, finally. Let me know what your guys' first experiences with Xbox 360 was, with job pickup, which games that y'all buy throughout the years. And yeah, I am out.